What did you mean? I like this phrase, historical echo.
So to me, the way I think this ties into a larger theme of our paper in terms of the implications and kind of when we got to our results, like we got through our results and we're like, to us there felt like so many implications, but we really need to boil it down to the big ones. What are the big takeaways? Why does this matter? And something that we talk about in the paper and continue to talk about publicly is this feels like we're doing the same thing we're doing again. We're just doing it in this tech washed manner. In that, when it came to broken windows policing, when it came to mass incarceration, the predominantly black communities, high poverty communities were targeted, and it was intentional, right? Like this wasn't by accident. This was intentional through colorblind policies and things of that nature. Like this, this to me feels like the next step in the, like, this isn't new. This idea that the neighborhoods who are being overly surveilled now are the neighborhoods who historically were over policed and broken windows. They were over incarcerated during mass incarceration, historically disinvested in. And so this is just repeating the cycle again. What I'm particularly concerned about, and I think my colleagues are and others are in the space, is, and I mentioned this earlier, I am always concerned that when this becomes quote unquote data driven, when it becomes behind the veil of tech, I have a concern of this stuff being tech washed. That while it's the same thing we've been doing again, because it's data driven, the argument's going to be, well, this is just what the data says, right? How can you argue with the data? And something that we have been intentional throughout the research, we are intentional in the paper, we're going to continue to be intentional about, is our research says nothing about the intention of why these cameras were put where they were. We don't know. Like, we do not know why Norfolk police decided to deploy the cameras in the manner they did. We don't know why Newport News did. We don't know why Richmond did. We don't know that. But our research isn't about intent, it's about impact. Because no matter your intent, even if your intent truly is, maybe the intent had nothing to do with race and class. Maybe that never crossed their minds. And to give them that benefit of the doubt, maybe that's the case. But even if that was not the intent, the impact's the same. If you over surveil communities of color, especially with a technology like this, that brings with it so many risks of misuse and abuse that we've already seen. Like, this is not hypothetical. Like, we see this technology and the data collects being abused and misused quite frequently. The communities that are going to be most impacted by those misuses, those abuses, are those that are most surveilled, right? Like, and that's the reality. That's the impact of it, no matter the intent. And so I do have concerns that as we continue to move in this kind of more surveillance tech world, that those racial biases are now going to be built into the algorithms. They're built into the surveillance tech. They're built into the decision. They're built into the data that then creates the decisions about where to deploy these cameras. But in reality, we're doing the same thing we've always done when it comes to over policing, over incarcerating, and harming and not helping marginalized communities.